guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers.
What's up, guys? And we are live. Today is Wednesday. Is it June 11th at 2:09 p.m. We're about 5 minutes late for this broadcast. I am joined today by Barry and Rob. Barry, welcome to the show.
How are you doing? It feels good to be free. This was my coffee cup in prison, bro. I walk the prison yard every day with my Trump 2024 prison coffee mug.
Did you get the floor wax and put it on top, or that's just like the
They, I paid for the service. It was a Cuban dude actually that did that. Tattooed the coffee cups, 20 stamps, man. It was awesome.
If we did.
Yeah.
Patriot Rob. Rob, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Happy to be here.
So, I've been a little absent. Obviously, we've been doing a lot. There should be a lot to cover here, but I don't want to go past about an hour and a quarter. And I know a lot of you are signed in because you just saw my post about my new position. We're going to get to that in a little bit. So in my absence, Barry has been going live. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Barry. Every day of these LA riots?
No, just the past 3 nights. I got a little late start.
The past 3 nights that we've seen, I've caught some of your coverage, and I've actually joined you a couple times. I'm seeing it from, what's going on in tweets, what's going on in the news broadcasts, and something that I find crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, and it's not even surprising. Is that they're trying to call these things peaceful. And like there's no way, like they showed a peaceful rally. I think it was, I forgot from what Democratic account they showed a peaceful rally where they were just like singing and stuff. And they're like, oh, how could they say this is not peaceful? I'm like, where have you been?
As electric cars burn in the background, once again, it's mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
You see what they did in Atlanta yesterday?
I seen some pieces, not too much.
Oh man, they had a dude that jumped on a police car in Atlanta, Georgia, and started smashing the windshield.
Nice. I mean, anything they can do to convince the American people to let them stay. I mean, they're nailing it. So good job for them. Good job to them.
Yeah. Hey, I've never actually, before we get into it, I've never seen that. Have you seen that people are putting repeated the stream? Have you ever seen that?
No, that just started while I was going live. That I noticed it with the LA mostly peaceful riots.
I guess that means somebody retweeted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just did.
That actually shows me who to follow when we're done here. Anybody that's sharing my show, I'll probably follow.
I couldn't even get the network to follow me back.
So, Barry, walk me through the past 3 days of coverage that you've given with these LA riots, which it's not LA riots anymore. It's, we're seeing activity in New York, we're seeing activity in Chicago, and it's kind of reminiscent of something we all know, which is a summer of love.
Mhm.
But what have you seen over the course of the past 3 days?
The same typical Democrat deep state playbook for causing disruption. You have the leadership, the elected officials such as Mayor Karen Bass, only posturing and pretending that she's doing her job simply because Donald Trump postured with the National Guard. One thing I'm interested in is getting the libertarian take. Did Donald Trump cross the line by sending in the National Guard? I'm interested on your opinion, because the way I see it is he's on guard and not taking any chances that we saw in 2020 with federal assets and being burnt down by liberal fucking far left retards. And he has every constitutional right to protect federal assets. And from what I can tell, that's the only thing the National Guard has done. I've witnessed a lot of restraint and professionalism from LAPD, and I have called LAPD out before when they've acted overbearing. That is not, I have not witnessed that one time from LAPD. I think they've been too restrained. And you have Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass only taking to the airwaves to highlight arrests. They're strategically placing the news where they can see people get lightly arrested. I believe we watched a complete show the other day where they bring up a short bus, no padded no locks, no security, and calmly walk on with the news camera, 20 compliant, peaceful people, and restraint cuffs in the back. So it was obviously a show, and I don't think they would be doing anything if Donald Trump hadn't sent the National Guard. But it's a show.
So I'm going to give you my position on it. Like, usually you don't like the military because it doesn't look pretty. Optically, it doesn't look pretty.
It doesn't.
But there's times where it's necessary, right? And I think that here I completely support it, right? Because we're seeing how outrageous this is. I don't understand. One thing I don't understand, right, is like in the beginning, I think it was Friday when this started, or Saturday, right? How do they know? Because it started somewhere. How did these big crowds know that ICE was arresting people? Because that's how it started. It started with a big, a sizable crowd. They were making their arrests, and it started with a sizable crowd. It might have been in court or whatever, but there was already people outside. And then it got bigger and bigger, and it's got worse every night. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Barry. Again, you've been covering this. Every night, it's gotten progressively worse.
Except for last night, LAPD made a hard stance. But yes, it has gotten progressively worse. But we did see it slow down a little bit last night.
Mm-hmm.
But whack-a-mole happened. It slowed down in LA, popped off in Chicago and Atlanta and New York while that happened. So that is, I'm sure we're going to talk about the nokings.org. I have been able to confirm last night. I was talking to people because I might confirm it myself, but I have now. This Harris to the Walmart money, this chick is all behind this No Kings.
Walmart actually came out against her.
Good.
He's flipping over in his fucking grave right now.
Yeah. Now, Rob, let me ask you, because I think you're a little bit more libertarian, especially because like your state is very like, don't tread on me, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Although it doesn't vote that way. But what's your stance on the National Guard, the Marines coming in? What's your stance on that?
Listen, man, you're talking about a terroristic occupying force of illegal immigrants and people that are complicit in their law breaking. And this is going to be too much for the LAPD. This is going to be too much for most. Like they're going to have a protest, and they're doing this in my state, believe it or not, and they're doing it in Portsmouth. Portsmouth doesn't have a huge police force. What are they going to do? Our state's huge when it comes to like being able to get somewhere quick. Listen, I'm not for martial law. I am not for, the military in our streets. But again, these are illegal immigrants that broke the law getting into this country. They're tearing our country apart. And if the local government's not going to do anything about it, the federal government has to. So I am for it.
Some of these videos that I see coming out where LAPD cracks down or the National Guard cracks down, they're great videos, dude. And I got to repost them because they're kicking ass out there. And I think if you say like yesterday, you saw less tensions because LAPD and the National Guard got a little bit more aggressive. I saw one time that which is a great idea. I don't know why they don't do it more. LAPD like blocked off a street from one side to the other, and everybody within was arrested or detained, including he wasn't detained, a CNN anchor that was a reporter that was there. They didn't even handcuff him. They're like, "You're now detained," blah blah blah. They walked him out and they let him go.
Yeah, but of course he blew it up like the homos that they are.
Of course, they're like, "Oh man, they're arresting journalists." They're not arresting journalists, dude. They just kicked you out of the fucking thing, and they arrested the rest. I believe they arrested the rest of the people that
Do
were.
you see this mark on my wrist he put there?
Yeah,
Oh,
go fuck yourself. Try being in
Oh,
Boston for 26 hours, you fucking retard. So, do you see? We'll get into the no kings thing in a second. Do you see things continue? Do you think that things are going to continue to escalate? And do you see an end to this? Is basically what I'm saying.
I not before the midterms. In my personal opinion, I want to stress this is my opinion. I think there's a bigger plan here, and I believe it's to cause mass disruption to before the midterms, to possibly blame the civil unrest on Donald Trump. I think it's the only play they have, and they need to do something. And I think they're aiming for a 2.0 George Fentanyl Floyd, but to blame it on MAGA. So I think the leadership is going to put the police in predicaments where they are not able to do their job appropriately, so they can go back essentially and say, look what Donald Trump and his MAGA people have done.
I think they're in a bad spot too, because fentanyl arrests are at an all-time high, specifically the dealers, not just the users. And I know that fentanyl has been slowed down across the border, so they're going to have a hard time beating somebody up and them being on fentanyl. So one thing I'm surprised about is one thing I'm surprised. Why are you laughing, Rob? One thing I'm surprised about is that we haven't seen like one of these cops get killed. There's this scene, and I know you guys have seen it. Like they're in an overpass.
I think you're supposed to say unalive, though. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but yeah,
yes, sorry,
people are
unalive.
getting demonetized for that now.
Yeah, if you're on
Damn it, I'm gonna lose my $50 a month.
Oh boy.
That actually pays for my premium plus, which is crazy. But regardless of the fact, that scene that you saw where they're where they're on the overpass and they're like striking these cars with rocks and shit like that, they're breaking down pieces. They're getting sledgehammers, breaking the sidewalk and using those things as a weapon. I'm surprised that you haven't seen a death or very serious injury by one of these LAPD. Another
2 days ago, we had a really bad situation where several LAPD squad cars were stuck under an overpass, and a group of protesters had the high ground, and like you said, they had chipped up pieces of concrete that they were just hurling over onto these cars. They demolished the cars. The police had to retreat and leave the vehicles there, and they just continued to pummel them all day long. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Now another thing is that I'm seeing with specifically LA, right? And they spoke about it today. The federal government is going to be helping these shops that got looted, but I don't think, and I know you guys are going to agree with me on this, I don't think it's the federal government's job to give LA or California any money.
Nope.
To rebuild.
Nope.
Because it is their fault.
Mm-hmm.
It is their fault, because you start locking these people up and you start making examples out of them, put them through trial, take away their ability to get bond, and the shit stops. It'll stop. Arrest enough of them, put them in jail for the allotted amount of time, which I don't know what that is. And I think you'll start, it's mass arrests, but mass imprisonment in this case, I think is justified. I have a bias. I'm really open about it. if they get arrested, I'm going to cheer it the fuck on. And something that I posted, I've been shit posting all weekend about deputizing the Proud Boys, and give us a little while in there, and we'll clean up the whole thing. And I do believe that.
please.
I do believe that if we had the numbers that we did in DC, that we and take off any restrictions, and I guarantee you, the Proud Boys will clean up the streets of DC without a problem.
Any state they go into.
But obviously, that's not realistic. And I on Monday, I had a whole bunch of emails and text messages from journalists. They're like, "Hey, are you guys going to Los Angeles?" And I'm like, "No, obviously not. It's a stupid idea to do it." And another thing is, like, these scenes that you're playing out here, Barry, I hope you're 100% right, and I think you might be right. If these scenes play out for another year and a half,
No way.
I might have to change. I might have to change my position on Republicans losing the House.
I think they're going to win by 2, man. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a fucking fight.
And then let's say when it gets cold, because it was a summer of love. So let's say this goes throughout the whole summer and then dies out through the winter and the beginning of next year. We got another summer coming right before elections.
Yeah, it's like clockwork. It's a playbook. It's clockwork.
Yeah. Which I never understood that. Like, if you're going to start paying protesters to fucking come out and like protest, why not do it in the winter, dude? Like, where it's reasonable. This weekend, I was in Arcadia, Florida, and it was like about 96 degrees. And I was out doing I was kayaking and camping. And dude, like, I was seeing these scenes and I'm like, bro, Los Angeles must be a lot hotter than this. And these people are out on the streets. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going through that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think cold weather plus sand plus vaginas equals like allergic reaction, and they don't come out.
Have you noticed that there's all the women in the
They won't
fucking
come out here.
crowds in these protests are fucking ugly as shit?
That's always been the case.
The fattest, nastiest, ugliest looking women are on a sex strike.
But let's talk.
Trump wins again.
Let's talk about a moment of bravery. There was a woman that one of her family members got killed by an illegal immigrant. And she went over there because she's pissed off. And dude, this crowd, and she's obviously like in her late 50s, and she's over there by herself. There's nobody around her, and she's in this crowd, and they start beating the shit out of her for her complaining. You know, they corner her, they spit on her, they threw fucking glass bottles at her. And bro, she didn't back down. You know, she was walking backwards, obviously, because it was a big crowd. But like, dude, talk about like a moment of like, I wouldn't do that by myself. But also, I haven't lost a loved one to an illegal immigrant, and there's so many families that have. So like, usually I'll call somebody stupid that does that, but she has a reason to be there. Like, she has a reason to be there. And this crowd, after she says that she lost somebody, didn't care. And their response wasn't just like say words to her. Their response was to beat her ass.
Do you know what the biggest problem with that is? Sorry, go ahead, Barry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm typing over here. Go ahead.
The biggest problem with that is that if there was any supposed conservative man there and they watched it happen and they let it happen, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Listen, I am
Any
not.
man. Let's just say
I'm
man.
Well, no,
Liberals
anything
are
on the
male.
left. No, anything on the left is not male.
I got it.
I'm
Yeah, don't assume their genders, Enrique. We don't want to get
Don't
canceled.
do that. I mean, shit, that'll be the fastest way to get canceled if we assume their genders. No, listen, there's not like 100 fucking T-level between 1,000 of them.
Yep.
Combined. Okay, so they're not males. If there are any conservative males that were there and they allowed that shit to happen, listen, two things that aren't going to happen in front of me. You are not going to attack old people, and you're not going to attack women and children. Like that. That's it. And like I will happily go to jail. Enrique, you've seen me. I don't talk bullshit, dude. I'm not playing around with this shit. I also don't believe that. I truly don't believe that it's the government's responsibility to take care of this, because there was a time in this country, and I'm not a fucking boomer by any stretch of the imagination, but there was a time in this country where we as men protected our communities, protected our families, protected our women, protected our children. We didn't
And we're
allow-
expected to.
You are expected to. This is part of being a man. And the fact that that so many people, and I say this a lot, bro. One of the reasons why I joined, because at the time when I joined, nobody was doing anything about this. There was nobody that was there were no real men that were standing up to these guys and saying, no, you're not going to beat grandma and grandpa up. You're not going to beat grandpa up who's pushing grandma across the road in a wheelchair because they're wearing a MAGA hat. We're not going to allow you to do that. The 3%ers, all they did was talk on Facebook, dude. So for me, the fact that this is being this was allowed to happen, this woman getting her ass beat and nobody fucking stepped in.
Yeah.
We had a serious problem.
Rob, were you with us in the November march?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. What activated us at night? Because all of us pretty much went to our hotels, and then we were going to come back to the bar later on. And what activated us?
Oh, November? No, December. I was at the December. I didn't go to the November one.
So the November rally, we all went back to our hotels. You know, we planned on going back to Harry's at 9 p.m. We weren't going to march anymore. We're just going to hang out and drink beer. As soon as we got back to our hotel, that it got a little dark, there was this video posted where they were attacking an entire family with a stroller, like the babies in the stroller, and they're beating the shit out of both of them. The mom's trying to push the stroller away, and they're like smashing. And that's the moment I said, nah, bro, we got to go back. So I messaged everybody put their gear back on. And we sweep the streets of DC. So what you're saying, and obviously, like the woman and the kid was really the thing that pushed us over the edge. So you're 100% right about that. Like any man that sees that happen, and I saw a person, there was a dude that maced her and squared up with her, dude. He like, she has her hands down, and he comes up on her. And I just can't fathom the mind that's like, oh, we see this lady here. Back in November, that lady that on Friday bullhorned us, I saved her fucking life. We came up on her, and she was by herself. She had this thing, and there were some Trump supporters screaming at her, and we surrounded her, and we walked her back to her car. And we knew I knew she was a communist piece of shit. But I didn't want to see that. I don't like that shit. I don't care what side she was on. I saw a woman. You're
starting to sound real domestic terroristy right now there, Enrique.
So now let's switch over to this what's it called? No Kings thing.
What is that? Oh, real quick, just real quick. I'll be laser. Nancy Pelosi the other day goes live and compares Donald Trump sending the National Guard in and brings up January 6th. And she says that they begged Donald Trump for National Guard to come to DC, and he wouldn't do it because he said he needed the mayor's permission. But he sends him into California, breaking his own rules, is what she said. And then she goes on to say officers died because of his lack of leadership on January 6th and not sending National Guard in. How much bullshit they're still willing to spew about that.
It's already that shit's been disproven by her own fucking daughter. I mean,
even the liberal Snopes will tell you that's bullshit.
No. It's not just disproved by her own daughter. I don't know if you guys, I did see that video of her saying that. And then everybody in the comments below, there's a video of her in the SUV where the camera's playing.
Yeah.
And she admitted that she didn't call the National Guard. Or she didn't tell anybody. She had the power to.
Yep.
And she didn't.
Soul power.
And, so she disproved herself. And the awesome part about this, and I'll say it again, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. That's why the Proud Boys aren't going to go to these events.
Exactly.
We let them burn their cities down so people can see who they are and who we are.
Every brick they throw is 5 more MAGA supporters they create.
Like imagine being imagine being a neutral fucking person that doesn't read into the news too much, and you're 9 to 5, you got 2 kids, you come home, you're busy as shit. And like the most political thing you ever do is just fucking go vote every 2 years and special elections. Oh no, if a normal person just only votes
general, if that,
general, if that, and then midterms. So
Yeah.
what would energize you to vote is you come back home and you're like, holy shit, these guys are fucking and then you see the side by side, you see liberals defending it, and you see Trump saying, hey, I'm gonna fucking kick their ass. They did a poll recently where 69% of people, Americans, approve of Donald Trump sending in the National Guard to Los Angeles. It's two separate polls. And I think everybody here pretty much, unless you're a liberal piece of shit watching this, you don't agree with
And there, and we know you're out there.
Of course, they're watching right now. So again, let's move on to the next phase in the summer of love, and let's start with the heiress of Walmart putting these events together called No Kings across the country.
NoKings.org.
One of them is going to be coming down here to Miami.
It is.
And
I got one 20 minutes from my house, dude.
Yeah. Now, Miami. So, they might not know this. City of Miami cops don't fuck around. They make LAPD look like what we're seeing with LAPD look like child's play. I don't know if you guys saw this video that was circulating last week. There was this dude that the lights went out and there was a cop there directing traffic, and this dude like tried to run over the cop. The cop, instead of moving out of the way, jumps on the hood, pulls his gat out, and pops the guy inside the car. LAPD doesn't fuck around, dude. I mean, City of Miami PD doesn't fuck around. And I expect any violence to be met by arrests.
That's because most of them are Cuban who fled real communism, and they don't fuck around with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single one has like their name patch right here. It's like Gonzalez, Perez, Lopez, you know? And these people come from, most of those city cops come from like Coral Gables, like going to Coral Gables High, Kendall, things like that, you know. So like, if you know Miami culture, we hate communism. So it's gonna go fabulous for them.
Hence why it's the first major metropolis to turn red in 58 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Amen.
Yeah, they planned on doing some of these protests in the areas of New Hampshire, dude. That, listen, this is not a dog on these areas of New Hampshire, but if you could picture like the whitest wife beater wearing, broken down Ford truck driving, toothless hillbillies of the South, that's what you have in these towns way up north. And one of those towns is like Colebrook, and they're good people there. They're solid people. So I'm not dogging on them. But if you would think hillbilly, that's the hillbilly of the North. They're planning on doing it in Colebrook, New Hampshire. And I'm just reading this going, man, they're going to eat a lot of coal that day because those dudes roll coal all the time. It's not going to happen. But in Portsmouth, it is literally the liberalist city in all of New Hampshire. And whatever they do there, they're going to get away with it.
Rob,
the state troopers here aren't going to put up with it, though. The Portsmouth police, they're all for it.
Rob, just a quick question here. Do you have a full set of teeth?
Yeah.
All right.
Of course I do. I don't live that far north, motherfucker.
Or in Pennsylvania.
Or Maine.
Yeah.
So
shit. No, I'm kidding. And all the Maine guys are going to be like, what the fuck, dickhead?
Yeah, I could think of 3 Pennsylvania people that are pissed at me now.
Now, let me tell you, with these events, and the fucked up part is I envy the left. I envy the left in their ability to organize, right?
I know where this
Like,
is going. I agree.
you know how hard it is to put a protest together and have people show up as a right winger. It's very, very, very difficult. And just
We
not
can't
just
even put an election together and get right wingers to show up.
exactly. But putting people together is hard. And I'm not telling everybody to go out and protest. There's not a lot to protest. The president's doing great. But their ability to protest. So these events that you're seeing across the country, the most dangerous part about them is the networking, because they find the most radical people, they put them in group chats, and then they organize in a way where you start seeing what's happening in LA happen across the country. Rob called me today with a concern, because we've seen that messaging before. They unite and they unite in this messaging. They get in these group chats and they unite in this messaging that's an obvious lie. And Rob sent me a screenshot from that was posted, and in there
Somebody had said it to me.
yeah, they're starting to organize this messaging saying that the Proud Boys are getting ready to infiltrate these protests and assault police officers. And what was the other one? Destroy property.
Destroy property, yeah. Set property on fire.
Listen, dude.
I was like,
I mean that's it's retarded in the simple fact that let's say that was our plan, and I'm going to tell you why that would be a stupid plan. Because if you cause the violence, you have a chance of being arrested. And if you have a chance of being arrested, it's going to be public record. And the moment that they find out that you're a Proud Boy, that's the first thing that they're going to jump at. I don't want to give the left. I don't want to give the left a win, and I don't want to turn this about us. So for that reason, I is one of the many reasons not to do it. The second reason, it's just it would be the stupidest idea ever to try to infiltrate or anything when they're the ones breaking down police cars. We don't have to help you.
You don't have to help them.
yeah.
You're doing it on your own.
No,
So
but
why the fuck am I going to go over there and help you do what you're doing? I just got to sit back and watch.
You know,
Bro,
when the main reason I'm not going to get involved is because I don't want to disrespect Donald Trump's faith in me that he gave me a pardon to fucking put that on the line and risk it in the public eye and disrespect the Trump administration like that. So that's why I'm not.
But there's more behind this, Enrique. There's more. This
there's a million things.
rally and this specific rally in particular. It's the We're Done rally. It's the rally has been promoted. My friend Aaron Sorrells, he had run for lieutenant governor at one point, and he's really tired of the Texas GOP. And the Texas GOP actually really truly screwed over Texas. So this rally really was not like a conservative rally. It was meant to bring all Texans together, Democrat, libertarian, conservative. It was main purpose was property taxes, like repealing property taxes. Who wouldn't want to repeal your property taxes?
Well,
And this is what he's always promoted it as.
well, we got the best governor in the country, and he's repealing property taxes.
Yeah, we're working on it here too. We did some real cool shit in New Hampshire, and we'll talk about it later. But and unfortunately, there's people that are the bootlickers that are up Ken Paxton's ass. That they're all about Abbott, and that these people can't do anything wrong, and they've been trying to do everything they can to cause division and in this rally since December, since he announced it, and I've been working with him this entire time. I was supposed to be there, and I put a lot of effort into this, and there's a lot of people that are on the right that are trying to squash his rally. And I honestly truly believe that this is not just leftists that are doing this, that the right is pulling out us as boogeymen. And it's not only the left that's doing this. The right wants to see this rally in particular fail.
Yeah. I have concerns. So I've always had concerns with dueling rallies at the same location.
His rally was first.
His rally was first.
Absolutely.
But the concern that I always have is, how good I don't know much about Austin PD. We did host an event at the Austin State Capitol back in 2000 at the end of 2017, and they were cool. And there was a lot of Antifa and BLM, and they did do a good job of separating us. How good of a job they're going to do now, I don't know. If they do the same thing that they did in 2017, they'll do a good job. But the problems also came when you come out of the state capitol and you go to your car, because everybody got to park somewhere. So everybody's parked, so the Antifa's parked, the ones that have cars are parked in the parking garage right next to like a Trump supporter.
All two of them.
Yeah. So and then another thing, they come in like fucking vans paid by fucking Alex
Mhm.
Soros and shit like that. So, but that does become a problem. So I am concerned about the rally in Austin in particular, not because of anything. It's just you have dueling rallies at the Capitol. I think you're going to see some violence happen next month when they do put these. Oh, it's not next month. It's this weekend, right? Yeah, this
Yeah,
weekend.
Yeah.
this Saturday, dude.
I think
Yep.
you're going to see. I think the most peaceful one that you might see isn't. It's going to be surprisingly in DC because I don't think Trump's going to fuck around with security there.
Mm-mm.
I think you're going to get your fucking head smashed if you start fucking with Trump supporters in DC. I
I
think
don't
that.
think this is.
Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry, bro.
So these things, my biggest concern with these events is they're going to start having them. They're going to start finding the most radical individuals, and they're going to start putting them in group chats, as we've seen before. And then you're going to start seeing more of what we've seen in the previous 5 days. So like, do you guys got anything else to touch on this so I could shift over?
Yeah, I want to,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind, dude. So Barry thinks this is going to go a lot longer than I think it's going to go. I think the American citizens have had enough, and they're not going to put up with an entire summer of this bullshit. And I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see there's going to be some states that are going to go kinetic, dude. I just like I know for New Hampshire, and I know. I mean, obviously, nothing's ever going to happen in Boston because Boston is just captured. But the people here in New Hampshire aren't going to put up that shit. The people up in Maine aren't going to put up with that shit. The people in Wyoming, you start fucking around in these urban areas, dude. That it's not going to happen. We're done. Like, just forget about the Proud Boys. The American citizens are done with these people destroying our communities, and I think you're going to see massive amounts of violence with people like me, with my mindset wanting to stop this shit from happening. I don't want to be stopped on a highway. Shit, I put my plow back on my truck. I'm not even kidding. I'll take a picture and send it to you. Dude, I got an 8-month-old. I'm and a 15-year-old son. If I'm driving around and those two kids are in the car with me, you can guarantee I'm going right through you.
Yeah, you don't need.
I am not going to allow you to hurt my children.
So basically, what you're
Oh my
saying
God.
is try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town. Yeah, but
A plow might be safer for them.
huh?
A plow might be safer for them.
Well, yeah, they're not going to
Like
go under
you're
the truck.
actually-
They're just going to go this way because it's a V plow. They're gonna
Yes, you're actually being considerate of these people.
Yeah, they might actually survive it. No, seriously though, man. Like all the people I talk to, just what we call normies, like on my spaces on Friday, dude. People are tired of the shit, like more so than I've ever seen.
Let's bring that back up. That comment. And I think a lot of J6ers should really look at this comment. Exactly. Trump's pardonees have a responsibility to represent well. I have no doubt largely they will. You're under a spectacle to point at any misdoings will just give a gallon for fuel for the media and a headache for Trump. And this is 100%. Like we know that
100% accurate.
we know that all eyes are on us, and we have a responsibility to set the standard. We have a responsibility to not make our president look bad. We have a responsibility for so people can't say, "Oh well, look, Trump pardoned these criminals."
Yep. Which they're going to do anyway.
They're gonna
We
do
shouldn't
anyway.
feed it to them on a silver freaking platter.
Yeah, of course.
I
I
digress.
agree, but when do we say enough is enough? And we
Oh,
actually do have
I'm
to
about-
do something.
I'm about to.
Well, hold on. I want to be clear. I'm with you, Patriot Rob. I'm talking about what I mean is people as J6ers going out and as individuals and acting like an idiot in
or
the
as a
public
group of
eye.
J6ers.
I'm not talking about defending your neighborhoods, your homes, your families. No, that's our cosmic spiritual duty as men to do that. But
And then and there is, Rob, I think, and my position on this has not changed because of my pardon or because of what I saw on January 6th. My position has always been this. And Rob, you have the same position as me on this. There's strategically, there's a way to win, right? And there is a time to go out in the streets and fight back. I have not seen that yet. Because I don't see this as a time to do that. We're seeing in mostly only liberal cities that these things are going crazy. For the cities of Los Angeles and DC, I have a radical proposal for conservatives. I say give them everything they want. Every single liberal policy, give it to them. Give them the freedom to bail out violent criminals with no cash. Give them the ability to not give them any time and let them roam free in these liberal cities. You know, it sucks, but people need to see how crazy those ideas are in real time.
Bro,
If
that
they
actually
haven't
happened
seen
when
it
you were
yet,
in-
they're never going to.
that actually happened when you were in jail the whole time Biden was in office, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
Seriously.
Well, that's why they voted him in. That's why I'm saying let these liberal cities and somebody posted a map of like how many people leave the state to go to other states, and like the top two were Texas and Florida. Like that scares me.
I don't know where this quote came from personally, but I think it's a great quote. And someone said that that in which is falling should be pushed.
Yeah. Somebody actually I know where that quote came from.
I don't.
yeah.
I don't know where that quote came
No,
from.
I don't know where it came from.
I don't.
So I guess and you lined it up perfectly for the next segment. So if we're not going to these things, because a lot of people are like, oh, you guys aren't out there fighting back. No. So what can we do as citizens? Not just us three here or the Proud Boys. Like, what can we do as citizens? Right? To help Trump's agenda. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, Trump needs to move faster. Well, it's also on us. It's also on us to help that single. Go ahead, Barry.
I just wanted to say to your point, to the people that have always supported us and men like us, thank you. Your support does mean a lot, and we do see you. But to let us not forget there was a lot of conservatives that turned their backs on us and men like us who took to the streets and defended and still do and think that we're some kind of toxic element to the conservative movement. But we exist because your lack of ability to get out and do something yourself. So I just want to the conservatives out there that don't like the Proud Boys and the J6ers. Remember, we exist because you're a pussy. But I digress.
100%.
So what can we do? You know, obviously, since 2016, the reason why a lot of people supported the Trump was the main issue was build a wall, and build a wall besides the actual physical wall also meant we have an immigration problem. And immigration was like the center of the 2016 election, the 2018 midterms, 2020 general election, 22 and 24. So helping this situation is really important. There's many avenues to take, you know, organization. And the reason why I told you guys I'm afraid of that organizing is because I know that we're not very good at it. And organizing,
We're not.
putting groups together is very important. Having these networking events is important. And about 2 months ago, I had somebody come up to me and they're like, look, we have this app. We need some help with it. And it took me a little while to go through it. And I thought it was the greatest idea. So today, we've announced about 20 minutes before this live stream, I've become the Ice Raid Czar. What does that mean and what is it? So this development team created this app. Let me pull it up. I think this is a screen. Is this a
Well, if
correct
it's
screen?
anything like the borders are, nobody has anything to worry about because nothing will get done.
Yeah.
That's great news.
So the app is called Ice Raid, and just to be clear, this is not a government agency. It's not people see ICE and they're like, oh my God, Enrique's working for ICE. No, I'm not.
Just like they see Federal Reserve and think that the federal government has anything to do with that.
Mm.
Example. And I hope this app becomes as big as the Federal Reserve. So what this app is, and I'll show you guys, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to use this in another stream. But basically what this app does is it helps this immigration problem that we have. And basically it allows you to report illegal immigrants and other crimes, obstruction, assaults on the police officers, looting, rioting, and things like that. And if you take a picture with your phone, you upload it to this app, you put the details in, the details that you don't need to know everything. You put the details in, this app turns around and pays you for doing so. We've seen, I said something in the news conference, and that's the last segment. It's going to be about the lawsuit. I said something in a news conference because somebody asked me a question. They're like, well, what do you think about like these Democratic senators flying out to other countries to advocate for terrorists and gang members while they didn't say a word of your incarceration? And I thought, man, like that's expected. You're gonna expect the left to always side with terrorists, always side with gang members. So I thought joining this team was essential to helping Trump put together his plan for immigration and deporting illegals. So in the app, you have to take a picture with your phone, and you have to upload it from the same phone that you took it. Once you took it, it gets a geolocation. It tracks where you took the picture. You put the additional details. You submit. It pays you in crypto because you create a wallet and it pays you in crypto. And then from that, we're also going to put up the ICE reporting line for you up here on the screen in a second. So it's a great idea, and I think that it's something that's needed because the citizens need to start doing something. ICE doesn't have. We've seen in LA. We've sent the National Guard. We've sent the Marines. They have LAPD. They have sheriff's office from around California in there right now, and they can't contain some of this. So it's up to us to actually do something and to help with these deportations. We're going to be having contests every week. The person with the most reports is going to get a prize of crypto. I'm not on the crypto side of it, and I'll bring somebody on that's a little bit more knowledgeable on that side. I'm more about getting these deportations. That's why it's ICE Raid Czar. I'm here to make sure that I promote this and you guys use it, because there was a lot of money left on the street. If you guys would have, if those people on the streets would have had this app and would have taken pictures of these people assaulting police officers and these illegal aliens, then they would have gotten paid for it. So 2 things that you need to do is use the ICE Raid app. And then when you're done using it, when you're done uploading the picture, you go ahead and you report them to ICE. And
This is why, Enrique. This is why right here. This is why the left calls you the black face of white supremacy. This right here.
No, believe me, I 100% know that. Actually, did I open? It doesn't open here. It just opens in a new window. Shut.
ICE Raid News. I'm gonna put ICE Raid News made a comment.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and let me share my other screen because for some reason it opens. There we go. So while it's on the screen, let me read out put that back up on the screen. So this is the actually take this so I won't be covering Rob too much. This is the account that you guys should follow. It's at ICE Raid News, which is where we're going to be putting these contests up. And I'm going to read what he wrote on the comments. The ICE Raid app is powered by the RAID token, which is the token that you're going to get paid in, which incentivizes citizens to report suspicious activities related to immigration enforcement and obstruction of justice, aligning with Tario's vision of leveraging technology to enhance public safety. Using technology and these tools like the ICE Raid app gives us a leg up, and it gives us like a crowbar into this issue that we've had for such a long time in the United States. You know, Democrats want to import more voters, and we want to deport anybody that's in this country illegally. It's not about votes. It's about it's wrong. We have a right to know who comes in the country. And we've seen through the Biden administration and we've seen through the Obama administration what immigration, illegal immigration unchecked does to a country. It changes its culture. More crime rises and Americans lose jobs. We covered this, I think, the last time that the three of us were on the screen. We covered a lot of this.
Cloward and Piven strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up.
So we're going to have another show where probably tomorrow where I'm going to show you how to use this app. Basically, you got to download a Phantom wallet. You go to iceraid.us from the browser and the Phantom wallet. And then we could start taking these pictures. You could start reporting and you could start making money.
Oh, I know right where I'm going to go.
We need to incentivize. We need to incentivize our citizens, the citizens of this country, to help ICE with these deportations. And this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Barry, you've seen, we've talked about this ICE Raid app before. What do you think about it?
I think it's a great idea. I think you're absolutely right. Incentivize people because it not just gives them incentive to help ICE. I think it as a byproduct of that, it installs a sense of American pride, of taking pride in your culture and taking it seriously, the foundation and the fabric and how valuable it is to protect. And it gets people involved on a deeper level. So I'm all about it.
You know, if you launch the app through your phone, let me see if I could look at it here. So let me show you. Let me bring this back up on the screen. Another thing that this app does awesome is once you report it, it comes up on this map and there's different, it's color coded to show you with different crimes, different people, and you'll be able to see the images, the locations verified, you know, the categories: illegal immigration, what phone it was downloaded from. And then you could also, if your friend's with you, he could corroborate your account of the report. And they also get involved in helping deport or report these crimes.
I have a question if you know the answer. Is this app communicating with the data that's been received from the app they were used to get into the country and claim asylum? So that's, I seen the facial recognition things. Does it know who she is because of data? No,
this is not connected to any like government agency or anything like that. Basically what this does is allow you to report on these crimes. And again, once you're done with this, what you should do is call the local authorities, make a report. And again, there's going to be contests that are associated with those reports. But you get paid. You get paid to do this. We want to incentivize you guys. We're capitalists. So we're like, oh, fuck it. I want to do this anyways. If these guys are paying me, then I'm going to get up off my ass and do this. So I think
basically this is like the conservative version of that Pokemon game that came out years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Perfect example. This is like Pokemon, and even the Pokemon game doesn't pay you money.
Pokemon Go with legal.
Proud Boys Pokemon.
I'm gonna talk to the developers, see if we could get a catchphrase similar to "Gotta catch 'em all." Yes, it's called the game's called Pokemon Go. So
yeah, I remember
Pokemon Go of illegal immigration and other crimes. So I'm really happy to join the team. I think we'll be doing more shows on it. I wanted to announce that I'm super happy about it. It's 2 months. It's been a project of mine for about 2 months. The developers are great people, and they really do have a big heart on setting it straight. So we got like these two. We got this new. It blew up in like 2018, 2019 when crypto was really, people were talking about it. So we got that technology and we mixed it with a cultural issue and a legal issue that we have in America, and we binded them together. Another thing, like if you've never been involved in the crypto community, this is a perfect opportunity to learn. You know, crypto is the future. One way or another, crypto is the future. And starting to get involved in learning how a wallet works, how to exchange. We did that with the Proudcoin and J6ers. You know, the main objective for the Proudcoin was to educate J6ers on how to trade crypto, how to make a wallet. And a lot of them now, what I'm happy about is a lot of them that receive their Proudcoin, they call me and they're like, hey, blah, blah. Hey, look, I did this trade. I made an extra $100 today. So I'm super excited that like they're using crypto now. People that would have never used it unless they were incentivized through the Proudcoin. So now with this Ice Rate app, incentivizes people to do the right thing, you know, and get paid for it, which is the best part. I love it. I'm a capitalist, bro.
I'm enjoying watching my Proudcoin go up. So,
and I'm going to read this out from Ice Raid News. The Ice Raid launch represents the kickoff of GovFi, a $5 trillion category potential for crypto. Through GovFi is unprecedented. Although GovFi is unprecedented, it is critical for this launch to demonstrate to governments around the world that GovFi is a real opportunity to engage citizens, balance budgets, and pay down debt and raise productivity. Again,
maybe I just have trust issues with the government, but that name GovFi scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. So I'm not on the crypto side of it. I don't know much, and I will bring somebody on that could give you that portion of it. But I could tell you that.
I need all the help I can get in that area.
I'm excited, dude. I'm excited about it. It's a cool project, and I'm happy to be part of the team. Let's shift gears here for a second.
Real quick, that is, I just, I don't know if anyone knows that, but that is like expert level troll to the left.
Oh yeah,
congratulations, good job, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, let me tell you, as soon as we put the press release out, I had, and it was only left wing outlets, because I have a big text messaging and email list for media, and it's pretty much 50-50 left wing outlets and right wing outlets is what I email. No surprise, not a single right wing outlet was like, oh, okay, cool. All the left wing outlets called me. They're like, "Are you seriously doing this?" So let me ask you: are you saying that people are going to make money from deportations? And like, I sent that little the picture of the blonde dude that says yes to him. I hope they print that. I really hope they print that. So yeah, only left wing outlets were the ones that called me. New York Times. MSNBC, obviously, like those two are the first ones out of the gate. So it's really triggering for him, bro. Really triggering for him, and I love it. I love it. So shifting gears here. Do you guys got anything else to add on this portion?
No.
We got another like 15-20 minutes.
I don't know dick about crypto, and I've been trying to learn, and
I don't know much either. It's a little
I'm
too
right there in that boat with you.
Maybe I'm getting a little too old, and like it's hard for me to understand these things. I need to take like a fucking crash. Like I've already taken a crash course, so I'm not completely stupid and inept, but I do know the basics. Shifting gears, Barry, I want to thank you so much for what you did on Friday. Barry covered us from morning through the afternoon. Two things that happened was we went to the Shane Lamont sentencing in the morning, which was tragic. He got 18 months too much. But really what I want to focus on is our press conference and what we announced and what we did at about 3 p.m. We are the first J6ers to launch a lawsuit against the United States government for making us and our families suffer for 4 years for political gain. And there's a word for that. It's called terrorism. We've sued the federal government. This isn't a game. We didn't ask anybody for money. I don't ask you for donations. Nothing. That was a project that we wanted to accomplish the first day of our pardon. And we wanted to incentivize other J6ers on Friday to file their suits and their tort claims, because there's a couple ways to go about this. And we encourage the J6ers to follow suit. So what I couldn't see the reaction, Barry, and I want to see what your what you think about it, Rob. But Barry, what did you see the reaction was to it
From people viewing, or just like throughout the interwebs?
throughout the spectrum?
Well, I think I think it was a sign of relief. A lot of the people that I interact with on social media are pretty right wing, so they all knew it was coming. I guess it was just a sigh of relief to see it actually happen. The people, surprisingly, I got a lot more positive feedback on the comments and stuff about what was going on versus negative. Once in a while, the typical leftist, you're a domestic terrorist, illegal felon, murderer, whatever, unaliver, fuck, whatever the hell you're supposed to say. But it was overall positive. A lot of people were very upset about the Shane Lamont shit about the 18 months.
Yeah,
as they should be.
As they should be. And Shane deserves a pardon. But I do want to see Joe Biggs, Zach Areel, and Dom, which were veterans.
Yep.
Joe is a 2-time Purple Heart recipient. They don't even have their benefits back, dude.
Yeah.
They need pardons.
And I mean, they're among the most innocent. Everyone is innocent to most degrees. Some people got into it with police, whatever. We know how Capitol Police acted that day, but these guys did nothing fucking wrong. They were lied about. They were smeared. Their reputations were destroyed, and they didn't do anything wrong. They were literally a puppet so Nancy Pelosi could use to, make Donald Trump look like the person that, started an insurrection, and it was bullshit.
Completely.
So you had announced this. You had announced this when I was doing my show on Friday, Enrique.
And got viewers. Is that what you're going to say?
What?
Are you going to say that? Oh, you took my viewers?
No.
I'm kidding,
I don't give a fuck about that, dude. You're my boy. That's way more important. No, I didn't take any viewers, but I had people coming into the space and going, "Hey, this is going on," and they wanted some clarity on what it was. Everybody that was there, but then what I saw too, obviously the little bit of lefties like Brian Assenstein and those douchebags, they were flapping their gums, but everybody was like, hey, more of the question was especially about Joe getting his benefits back. That's more the and that's huge. And I didn't know, and they were asking me, is that in the lawsuit? And I said, I have no clue. I haven't even talked to Enrique about that.
The losses are in the lawsuit, but I don't, just to make you guys understand. So a lot of people are saying, oh, they're suing for 100 million. We're not suing for 100 million. That's just damages. The compensation that we're asking for is going to be anywhere between another 100 million and 150 million. This is actually a $250,000 lawsuit. The benefits, $250 million. Sorry. Actually, the lawyer kept correcting me on that every time I said it. But even if we win this lawsuit, it doesn't give him his benefits back. The only thing that'll give Joe, Dom, Zach, and some of the Oath Keepers that are veterans, including Stuart Rhodes, is a pardon. So that should be step one. But we had to take this step. We had to go on the offense because we've been on defense for so fucking long, dude. We've been defending ourselves throughout the entire Biden presidency, in the courtroom, in the public space, on public opinion. And our champion, the person that championed the most for us, has been the president. So a lot of them were scared. A lot of CNN was scared. CNN did a piece, the Abby Phillips show on Friday night. They lied through their fucking teeth. Like, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And they said, well, they might actually win this lawsuit. But they said, oh, I don't know how they win. Bakari Sellers says, oh, well, they pled. So I don't know what they want to sue. We didn't plead. We took it to trial. And at the very end of
you guys did.
Yeah. At the very end of the presser, we were very clear that this is just the first salvo. those media outlets like CNN, MSNBC, and other outlets that slandered us for 4 years and continue to slander us today, they're next.
Yep. Huffington Post, you're on my list, baby.
So I think that and again, we never asked anybody for a penny. This isn't about fucking raising money. And what's funny is I have these people in the comments right here that says, anyone go check this shit out. These dudes are grifting. I got accused. They're like, why would they sue? I mean, look how stupid this is. Why would they sue the Trump administration? And this money is going to come out of taxpayer funded money. Look, and they call themselves Trump supporters. Maybe they don't understand. Maybe they had to go through 3 or 4 years of solitary confinement to understand that we lost everything.
Who's this faggot running his mouth?
I don't know. Some of these QAnon fucking
just to be clear, I'm definitely not grifting, but if you would like to go to buymeacoffee.com/American Rising, you can do that there. Buymeacoffee.com/American Rising.
I'm not even monetized on X. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking grifting. Get the fuck out of here.
I have the monetization on an X. They don't pay anything. I think my
Yeah.
last check was like $70.
But if you do go to
here's how many-
buymeacoffee.com/American Rising, you know,
Shut up, grifter.
You
So,
grifty dude.
so look, to those people that part of that little QAnon clique, yeah, it is going to come from taxpayer money, because taxpayer money in the 4 years of the Biden administration put us through hell. They put us through what they do in the CCP, what they do in Cuba, what they do across these third world countries. They put us in jail because we were Trump supporters. And to that entire group, you guys haven't done shit. You guys have sat here in front of these mics for the past 8 years just talking shit on the internet. Okay? We have always supported the president. I supported the president back in 2012 before he ran. We're suing the federal government, and we're specifically suing people that still are employed, which is crazy, that are still employed by the federal government, including FBI agent Nicole Miller, that lied on the stand, destroyed evidence. She admitted it on the stand that she destroyed evidence and tapped into our attorney-client privilege phone calls. So yeah, I'm sorry that the taxpayer has to pay for it, but that's how it has to work. We need compensation for the shit that we went through. Okay. If look, we went through this bill, the three of us went through this bill the other day, and we saw all this funding for all these projects, all this pork. Again, I'm still in the position that I support the president 100%. I don't support the bill. If it passes, I'm not going to lose. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lose any sleep.
There's things that we didn't get into
but-
about that bill that are real bad.
If you look at that bill and you look at one line item on that bill, one line item on that bill would pay for, I'm pretty sure all the J6ers would be happy with that one line item, would have paid for all of our losses. And the federal government needs to pay, and the people involved need to pay monetarily, and they need to be held accountable, and we need to put them in fucking prison.
and create
So-
legislation where this can't be done again.
Yeah. Look, I was saying the other day that what they're doing in the streets of DC, specifically to the ICE agents, falls perfectly into 18 USC 2384 seditious conspiracy. Falls perfectly. They used force to stop the federal government from executing any law. It's easy to get a grand jury to fucking to charge that. So there's two solutions here. Either you start charging these motherfuckers with sedition, or you take that law off the books. I'll be happy with both.
And the Patriot Act.
And then the Patriot Act.
And instead, we're getting an expansion of it.
Yeah, no shit.
Don't make me black pilled right now.
God,
Don't
listen, motherfucker.
I'll black pill all
Right.
fucking 1,344 people that are on this stream.
Dude, it's easy. When
I
you
think
look at life through the lens of reality instead of fucking rose-colored glasses, it's easy to be black pilled.
Yeah, we can Jim Jones this shit right fucking now, everyone. Let's go.
Now check this out. This is actually somebody. Let me pull this up really quick. The money these boys lost and potential income they had for 4 years needs to be paid. To the plus the pain. Oh, plus the pain and suffering to them and their families. 1 million ain't shit. Pump these numbers up. So,
That's my boy Reno.
I want to tell you something about that. Like, can you imagine all the good the J6ers would do with that money? You know, like I think everybody would start I think a lot of J6ers would start a foundation. I think a lot of J6ers would use that money to prop up, maybe run for office.
I would start a fund that props up anti-communist people running for school board across the nation instantly.
You see that? I mean, that's things like that is what you'll see with a lot of the money. Obviously, they're going to use the money to put their lives back together, but the remaining half is going to be put into these passion projects.
Yeah. Well, I might get like a 2008 Escalade and put like $300,000 rims on it. You know?
You're not a car guy. You don't buy
I'm
a
not.
2008 Escalade.
I'm not.
I would spend it all on an underground bunker.
You know, I fuck around and I say that I'm going to buy a Castle, a Ferrari with fucking cheetah with gold teeth.
But you're not fucking around. You're dead serious.
I might buy the cheetah.
Right, you already grifted his fucking Tesla. I mean, come on now.
See how well that worked out for him.
Money and he
Yeah.
ran on a fucking used Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
Petrus Farms remembers.
Petrus Farm remembers.
Pepperidge
But I think a lot of good will be done with that money. We have a lot of J6ers that are very, very most J6ers are very dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Some of them will start using that money to open new podcasts and I tour buses.
Patriot shows for drag queens.
They'll probably do like private drag queen, what's that shit called? Drag queen story hour.
Oh God.
Yeah.
They'll probably pay for it on their own and be the only participants. Not going to mention any names.
I see where this is going. There's actually a few names you could put in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to name drop here. But yeah, no, and you know, they need to be compensated, dude. And I think that this is a good first step. And one of the main reasons I did it is we need to start encouraging, like time's of the essence. These things take time to go to trial. These things take time sometimes even for settlement. So I want, if you're a J6er and you're watching this, dude, just find a good attorney and jump in. You know, I've seen a lot of comments that they're like, oh, but attorneys are charging anywhere from 10 to 20%. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. You know, they got it. They got to do the legwork. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. You don't.
There is a lot of legwork involved.
Yeah, but
especially even with just tort claims.
Even the tort claim is difficult. So like, I encourage you guys, just move forward, bro. Let's go. Let's go. In the next month, I want everybody to just bang out these lawsuits. There's a couple coming in the next week or two. But I do want to see all 1,600-ish defendants put a lawsuit in.
Yeah, the people that are complaining about how much money the lawyers are going to take, these people don't realize what they're going up against and how much work they're going to have to do, especially doing something like this in DC.
Yeah.
And this is going to be unprecedented. I've never heard of a lawsuit like this before.
In my case, you know, my lawyer gave up his entire life for 6 months to do this. And like some people don't know, you know, trial usually runs from like 9 a.m. to about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes more. And that whole day needs prep work. So as soon as they're back at their Airbnbs, they're preparing for the next day. You know, they go to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's 5 days a week, dude. That's a straight run. So again, it is a lot of work, and I get it. 20, you got to give up 20% or whatever, but like, dude, do it. 100% of zero is still zero. So if you don't do it, you're gonna have zero.
Yeah.
You know, and I want you guys to succeed so you can use that money for good.
Invest and make smart moves. You can do that with a minimum amount of money.
If you guys need any help with anything, just hit me up on the J6 Telegram group chat. I'll point you in the right direction. I think a lot of after we launch on Friday, I think a lot of attorneys are going to be open to doing this.
Yeah, I know that the attorney I'm using is waiting to go forward with a lot of things on pending the outcome of you filing. So
yeah, and there's certain things that you want, but legally you can't have. You know, like we're not like the five of us weren't attorneys, so when we got on the phone with the attorney, we're like, we want this and we want that, and the attorney's like, hey, listen, chill. You can't get that because you can't do this, and there's a certain way you got to do that, and we want to focus on what we could get. And for those that watched it, you know, there was a question brought up, hey, are you going to sue the members of Congress? You know, and he said maybe, but right now I'm focused on the government, specifically the DOJ, and specifically those employees that are still holdovers, that are still within the United States government. After this lawsuit, again, this is the first salvo. Those people like Merrick Garland, those people like Graves, you're next.
On this note, Enrique, I want to encourage the J6ers. I just recently filed a FOIA request for my BOP file. And all communications between the counterterrorism unit and FCI Miami and other things, naming some specific officers, and everything, every email, everything communicated from them, and anything communicated from Merrick Garland's office to the BOP, including but not limited to Grand Prairie. I highly recommend everyone do this because you're going to find some communications that are extremely unconstitutional and nefarious in a lot of cases, not all, but a lot. So file a FOIA request and ask for your BOP file if you went to prison.
And right after you file, it's crazy because they should be fired, but right now I'm rooting for them not to be fired because it makes it easier to sue them. So Pam Bondi, if you're watching this, don't fire Nicole Miller just yet.
Well, Matthew Graves, that little weasel, retired, but
yeah. All right.
Yeah, right,
so
abandoning the ship.
anything, do you guys have anything else about the lawsuit?
Nope.
nope.
Okay. Has there been any other news that you guys have seen that you want to cover in the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, actually, there was something that came up for me, and I was reading it. United States Department, U.S. State Department is authorizing the departure of all non-essential personnel and family members from Bahrain and Kuwait.
What do you think's happening there? You think there's some shit that's about to pop off?
I don't think this Iran thing's going the way Trump wants it to go.
Yeah.
They had until today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's listen, and then you got that imam, what was it on Friday or Saturday, saying that he wants all Muslims to rise in jihad on Saturday also. Like this is the stuff that I'm talking about, saying that it's not going to last the entire summer. This shit is going to pop off. I honestly believe that this is, obviously the left, but also that, there's people on the right that don't want Trump's agenda to come to fruition.
It's a fact.
We know
It's
this.
a fact. Yeah.
And they're just as culpable as the left. They want Trump to fail. Anybody that's trying to, I mean, look, not one of his EOs has been codified yet. I mean, we have a Republican House and a Senate. Why aren't these fucking codified yet?
Here's the black pill.
The rhinos.
Here's
What's the truth?
Let's be
Well,
honest.
it's the truth.
Let's just be honest with everybody.
Nothing's going to happen.
They're not going to codify anything.
Nope. They're
They're
not.
not going to codify anything. And
Our own people are making him a lame duck president.
if the Republicans keep the House and increase, let's say by 20, let's say they increase red seats by 20, you're still not going to fucking codify because they're a bunch of cowards.
Mm-hmm.
They're a bunch of cowards. every single seat is up for election next year.
So,
Unless we start pumping money and start pumping, get off our asses and knock on some doors, you will see, like you said, we're seeing a lame duck president right now because Congress just refuses. He's doing a great job on his own, and Congress just refuses to do anything.
Well, to
So-
Rob and yours point, I mean, we're talking about the Democrats that went to El Salvador to have margaritas with an MS-13 member, and you got Republicans that are afraid to be in the same room or take a picture with fucking Proud Boys or J6ers. That's
course.
what we're dealing with. They're spineless, feckless fucking morons.
mhm.
Yeah. I agree.
And we have
Republicans.
So we have a chance here in New Hampshire. Shaheen said that she's not running for Congress again. That spot is going to be open to a woman named Lily Tang Williams, and we should probably get her on the show. I know her well. She escaped communist China, came here, became an American citizen. She was this one that she's holding this AR-15, and she looks like a rooftop crane with an AR-15 on her shirts. But no, she's as conservative and as MAGA and as America first as it gets. And we here in New Hampshire have a chance to change out the four, U.S. Congress people that, 2 in the House, 2 in the Senate. We got a real good shot at getting Lily Tang Williams in. And, if we lose 2 seats somewhere else and we gain 2 seats here in New Hampshire, and we're going to do the same thing that we did in leading up to 2024. We have a veto-proof majority in the House and Senate here, and we have a Republican governor. We just put in our governor put in an EO saying that our state police have to help ICE in any way, shape, or form. It is now illegal for men to go into women's bathrooms. It is illegal in the state for men to play in women's sports. We got rid of estate tax and capital gains tax here, so we are completely tax free. And she just signed into law. The big one is it is illegal so we're the only state in New England that's not a sanctuary state. Like our governor Sununu was like, no, fuck you, we're not doing that, we're not playing that game. But certain cities that are leftist cities said that they were sanctuary cities. It is now illegal to be a sanctuary city in this state. This was just signed into law. We are literally leading the country in what the country. This is the playbook for the rest of the country. What New Hampshire's doing right now. Don't sleep on what New Hampshire's doing, guys. You should really investigate what's going on here. I moved here for a reason.
You got a congresswoman there, Hassan.
Oh God, she's a horrible, horrible human being.
That's one of the most hated.
Yep,
shit.
She's a piece of shit. Goodliner's a piece of shit. Chris Pappas is a piece of shit. They're all pieces of shit.
Of course.
But for some reason, our House and our Senate's fucking awesome. And Kelly Ayotte, our governor, did not run on a MAGA platform. She was not vocally pro-Trump. I mean, we were all hoping this other guy, Chuck Morse, was the guy that was going to be the win because he was very vocal, Trump, MAGA, the whole 9 yards. But I'm pleasantly surprised in our governor that she is really instituting what we want here in this state. She's listening to the state, she's listening to the people, and she's doing it all, man. And she really hasn't fucked up on anything. So I'm glad to say that I was wrong about her, because I was 100% wrong about her. I was like, oh, she's another, Chris Sununu. She's going to sell out the mass just like fucking Sununu did during COVID. This woman has come in and done amazing things with this state. And I'm truly, truly, truly glad that I was wrong. And I give her a lot of credit for what she's done.
Amen. All right. I gotta hop on a call. I don't know if you guys want to continue. I'm pretty much done for the day. I got no new news. And I actually got to go fucking try to get my car back.
All right. Can we spend 5 minutes when we're off of this before you take off?
Of course.
All right.
So follow at Warboy Studios, because you might be watching this stream on one of my X platform or YouTube or Rumble. So go to Twitter and hit at Warboy Studios, hit us a follow, and then another thing, hit the notification, post notification button to follow us. Barry, any last words?
Nope. Just make sure to go follow at American Rise here on X. Anyone on YouTube that's watching, subscribe, and let's get ready for June 14th, man. We will be streaming live tonight some of the riots if they pop off, if it's worthy. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, just make sure you're not on somebody's schedule.
Yeah, I'll try to do that this time.
Rob, any last words?
Should we tell people now what we talked about earlier today?
I don't remember.
You fucker.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, first of all, you got to get the War Boys to follow me back. I mean, I've been on.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you go.
sorry.
Make the fucking announcement, dickhead.
So I am also happy to announce that Rob will be starting a show as of, correct me if I'm wrong, next week. Right here on the War Boys
Friday.
Studios. Huh?
I'm trying to get it running for Friday.
You could, yeah, okay, fine. Friday. He's we'll go through this the steps now, and you'll catch Rob on Friday on the War Boys Studios. Rob has been a good friend for a very long time. Almost went through complete and utter hell with me. And I'm proud to have you on, brother. I think that you're going to be one of the best add-ons that we have. You know,
Thanks,
right
bro.
now, one of the worst add-ons that I've decided to bring in is Barry. So he's going to be easy to outshine. But happy to have you on, man.
Thanks, brother. You've been after me for a while to do it. I've just had some misgivings, not about being here with you guys, but just doing something like this in general. And I figured if I wanted to do something like this, I'm going to be serious, but I'm also going to be a fucking shitlord too at the same time. And I want to help incentivize and help people. So the show's called Critical Mass with Patriot Rob. That's what my Friday show on X is, and I'm gonna be trying to work on it between now and Friday so that we do this here live, but then we're also running a space at the same time so we can bring in quote unquote callers, so that people in the audience can ask questions, hopefully get guests on here. And I hope to take it from one show to maybe 3 or 4 shows during the week, and see if I can go live on Saturday and show you guys what's going on here in Portsmouth in New Hampshire with this fucking ice rally shit. And bro, thank you for the opportunity, man. Honestly, I truly am honored, and I appreciate it.
I'm honored to have you on the show, Rob.
Thanks, man.
And then me and Barry might be going on a special live on Saturday too. But we'll talk about that after we sign off.
I got to get you guys up here. We usually do like a whole New England thing on my spread. I got like 18 acres, and it's a fucking hell of a party. So
I'm in, man. I'm in.
I'm down for that.
Can you imagine all of us fucking right here in my studio at once?
Unlike Enrique, I joined a drinking club to actually drink. So
yeah, we're a drinking club with a Patriot problem, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget it.
I joined because it was a hate group. As soon as I found out it wasn't a hate group, I was dying to leave.
Yeah.
Like fucking these guys don't like fucking.
Like I saw the left calling you guys a bunch of white supremacists. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect club for me. Then I joined. I'm like, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I saw Gavin's speech at fucking NYU, and I was like, all right, I'm sold. Fuck it. That was me, dude. I was like, all right, I got to find the local one. And I was living in Mass at the time. So I was like, yeah, let's go.
All right. And then Reno, call me so I could hit end on your phone call. Nah, Reno, call me later, dude. Call me after 5. Thank you, guys.
Love that guy.
Love you. I am
All
going
right.
to sign off if I could find where the fuck my mouse is. Okay. Sorry. I have
Yeah, don't need to chat though.
How was your mouse up? Was it up? You looked up. That was weird.
well, because I have another screen on here on this side.
Gotcha. So, Rob, you want to keep this going for 5 minutes? You said.
No.
No,
I'm going to talk to you guys outside of here.
All right,
I want
gotcha.
to keep the StreamYard going, but not live.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the War Boys.
Load up on guns and Bring your friends, it's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.